Hi, my name is James. Today I'll be giving a brief introduction to the People's Republic of China. I'd like to introduce some major facts about the country and also talk about important geographical information. So I want to give an introduction about geography and things that I think everyone should know about China. I've studied abroad in China twice. I studied Chinese language and other languages in undergrad. I think it's a really amazing country, and it's also very important. So I think that students should definitely know at least the basics about it. So China is, as many people know, the world's largest country by population. It has about 1.4 billion people. It's also the third or fourth largest by area, depending on how it's counted. That's disputed. Sometimes the US is counted as the third largest, sometimes China is counted. But it falls roughly in that category, depending on the measures used. Let's see. Something else, the major currency in China is the yuan or renminbi. In Hong Kong and Macau, separate currencies are used. The Hong Kong dollar is official in Hong Kong, for example. Yeah, so those are some basic facts about China. To begin, I'd like to start by talking about population density in China. So as you can see, the red is where more people live, followed by orange and yellow, and green is the least dense areas. So as you can see, the coast is the most population dense. And as you go further west, there are fewer people. These regions out west are called Xinjiang up here. This is Tibet, or Xizang in Chinese, and this is Qinghai. Up here is a province called Inner Mongolia. For a time, it's been part of Mongolia in history, in the general definition of Mongolia, the country which is up here, but today it's part of China. So yeah, this is a really interesting and important map. Many people assume that Chinese population density is pretty even, or maybe dispersed a little differently. But as you can see, most people live on the east coast, or on the only coast. This is a map of precipitation, and I chose it to follow next because it partially explains why so many people live on the coast of China. In addition to coastal areas prospering because of trade, there's also a lot more rain on the coast of China. So as you can see, the blue is where the most rainfall is. And as you go further out, further west to Xinjiang and Qinghai, and also Tibet, there's a lot less rain and snowfall. So it's much harder to grow a lot of food. These areas over here are mostly desert and grassland that's pretty dry. And Tibet is very mountainous. This is the Himalaya Mountains. So that's also a very important fact, I feel, about China is the rainfall. This next map is a little different. This is the ethno-linguistic map of China. This is a very big generalization about ethnic groups and languages in China. So as you can see, China is really diverse. Over here are mostly Tibetan people. Up here, these are mostly Turkic people. And then as you come over, you can see other groups. This is mostly what's called Han Chinese. So those are the people who make up the majority in China. Most people in China are Han Chinese. And then as you go up, Mongolians, and also over here you'll see some Koreans. In terms of language, China is a very diverse country. Mandarin Chinese is the official language, but there are also many other Chinese languages or dialects, they're sometimes called. These include Cantonese, which is very famous. That is spoken in Hong Kong and in parts of southern China. And then there's also Tibetan over here, which is a separate language, and some Turkic languages. The major Turkic language in China is called Uyghur. And then you can see up here, there's Mongolian, and also if you come over to here, there's Korean and even some Russian in China. Yeah, so that's just the basics about the ethno-linguistic layout of China. So that's basically the different ethnicities and also the different language groups, which is really important. Um, this next map relates pretty closely to that. These are the major religions in China. So it's very difficult to generalize religion in China. Religion's very complicated, has a complicated history, but Chinese religion is very diverse. As you can see, there's major provinces, there's major parts of China which are Islamic. For the most part, the majority of people are Islamic. There's also a lot of Buddhism, and increasingly in some areas, various forms of Christianity. But for the most part, China overall is a pretty atheistic country. Traditional beliefs um, are very diverse and include many different gods and pantheons and other beliefs that mix with Confucianism and Taoism and Buddhism. But the state ideology is atheism. So that's predominant in public life, especially. But that's changing, and China is a very diverse country. So, yeah, thank you for watching this video introduction about China. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great day.